Hi everyone, it's Adrian Leah. I'm back sooner than I anticipated because I misread my godmother's message. So I packed my stuff prematurely. I feel like it's a good thing because there would be a chance that I would wait to pack my stuff up, and it is a good amount of stuff. So I just have a couple things that I'll bring up to my late grandmother's room where I'll be sleeping for the next couple of days. So I have some projects that I'll bring up too. And I do have some decks out. I will do some daily draws with the Glory to Ukraine Tarot. And I have a couple other ones out as well. I actually wore a knitted garment today. It's one of the short sleeve ones that I would wear over a skirt, and it was cool enough for me to wear that. It's still slightly warm for it, but it was okay. Um, I am just so excited for the cool weather. I love cool, cold weather. Maybe I'll show it in this video because I think the colors go with it. They're Ukrainian colors. I am starting to make progress on a knitted project that I have been trying to optimize the knitting experience because I'm using a cotton, I'm using two cotton yarns for the project. I might put like 22 in the description, like the angel number, because of the way the angel, archangel, oracle came out. And I was putting the box cover back on, and it was the direction of like moving forward, like right. The phrase that's coming to me is like slow as molasses, and it's gonna be a little different because I usually use this for the readings where I have my phone to film because it has words. Well, it has descriptions on these cards, so if you're interested in reading the descriptions to understand the cards, or you can do that. Because I saw the cat again. There was a cat in the backyard the other day, and I saw the cat closer this time. So there's the blinds, and I don't know if they're different, if there's a different name for them, but they are the ones that are vertical and not horizontal. And you can kind of like do this with them and you can see things like if there's the, the gaps. Usually with the horizontal ones, they're closer together. But the cat was where the pool used to be, and the pool now has like a brick flooring on it, and then there's steps to go down because it's like the house is on a hill in a way. And so, sorry, I was looking at my notes. So the cat was where the pool was, directly where the blinds were, and there's you can't see the neighbors through those blinds because you're just looking straight ahead, and then there's woods. So the cat was like directly where that window is, and then after like I stopped to look at the cat, and the cat saw me, it like scurried away. It looked kind of gray, and um, the tail was like down. Sorry, like maybe the cat smelled the food from when the cats were here, and I got an update from my god brother saying the cats are doing well, so I'm happy about that. I have the project, so maybe I'll quickly show it. It's very nice. So this is the autumn lark pattern, and here you'll be able to see that the body is now forming. So this is going to be the crop sweater, and it has the pattern, well, it has a pattern that's different than the yoke on the body, so I feel like it should go by smoothly now that I switched to different needles. It feels a lot better because I tend to knit quicker with color work knitting. And none of the cards turned over. So I also feel like I wouldn't say there's secrecy about it, but there could be, well, I was going to say like hidden crush, but the words that were going to come out were hidden agenda. And another relationship reading, because you have the relationship harmony. Archangel Raguel, we angels are opening the hearts of everyone involved. Arguments and conflicts are being resolved now. With clairsentience, Archangel Raguel again, and then you have two Archangel Uriels. So notice the recurring physical and emotional feelings as they signify divine guidance. So these are the two for Archangel Raguel. And I may find information on them and put it in the description too. So one of them is claircognizance, Archangel Uriel. Pay attention to thoughts and ideas that come to you as they are answered prayers. So this is going into thoughts, and the other one's going into physical and emotional feelings. And then brilliant idea, Archangel Uriel. Yes, your idea is divinely guided. Please take action to bring your idea to fruition. Queen of Cups is in this reading too, as well as the Seven of Wands and the Nine of Pentacles. With this, I'm getting accept change in your life. It also feels like with the Seven of Wands, it's almost like a different way of doing things or a different avenue, a different approach at life. And with the Nine of Pentacles, it seems like this energy with the Queen of Cups has really been independent for a while, even on the card, but that's the Nine of Pentacles. You get independence, individuality. Success supported, profitable, of 3D alignment. Because Pentacles with more of the physical realm. So I feel like with this Queen of Cups, it feels like an established energy in certain areas of his or her life. I'm not reading for genders. And there could have been an idea or like a certain way of doing things or thinking, especially with relationships. You do get the relationships immediately in the reading. Because say you had a past relationship and it didn't go so well, and maybe it was supposed to, you had plans for it to get more serious, or um, maybe it was serious and then it ended, and then the future relationship, you're just like, my future relationship, so I make sure that I don't get hurt. I'm going to set this boundary up. Again, it's good to have boundaries. I've said it in other readings, but sometimes it may hinder your growth. And so it's good to really observe those things and to be listening to, as it says in the oracle cards, your thoughts, feelings, and emotional and physical feelings, because you thought that maybe it that boundary was okay at the time, or maybe it was numbing at the time. it it was more like training wheels, putting like the training wheels back on a bike, then taking, like, if you didn't have them and then you put them back on. Because the next relationship you went to, which may have been a little sooner than later, or it could have been other circumstances, a lot of time goes into it, but maybe that for you, it, or somebody else, it may not have been the case. So you were thinking for the next relationship, sorry, I keep going on about it, that, well, I'm not going to have high expectations for this person. I'm just gonna make it more casual. I would like the commitment, and that would be it. It wouldn't really go further than boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever dynamic it is for that relationship that you're looking into or wanting. And then I wouldn't want it to go further than that, because I don't want to risk things. And then the universe was like, okay, this is what you want, so that's what it's going to be. And so, sorry. So this person that comes into your life, that's what they're looking for too. But then the problem is, or it may not be a problem if you don't see it as a problem, but you might run into feeling like, I feel more healed now. And now I'm starting to think that I would like a serious relationship that leads to marriage. But since you're with this person hasn't changed their mindset about it. They're saying, um, I don't want to do that. This is what I wanted from the relationship, and that was that. So there's more complexity to it, because now there are other avenues to take on whether or not you're going to be okay with sticking to what you said you were going to have before, or if you're going to start over or take your time and to think about it. Maybe take your time to see where the relationship goes. Um, of course, it's not an ideal situation for anybody for you to want to change how anybody is, but there could also be the energy of trying to convince another person to be something that they're not. And I feel like with the healing phase, with it being slow as molasses, sometimes we don't want it to be. So this was in reverse. It's the Five of Pentacles, Aurora. Right? Reminds me of like Aurora Borealis. And this is an Arctic night setting too. And then upright is the Five of Wands. There's a lot of twos and twos, as I said, so this is a matching. And then when the cards were coming out, it was like two and two for the Archangel one and the Angel Tarot. The Five of Pentacles, it is energy of maybe taking a financial or I suppose situational hit where now you're seeing or your thoughts and your physical and emotional feelings are becoming more balanced. One is starting to really recognize what the other senses are, and it's almost coming out of not hypnosis, not a trance, but coming out of that moment in time where there was decisions made from uncertainty, and then once you become more clear with those things, it makes it confusing to move forward, or it makes it unfortunate in some cases to move forward. For some, it's also sticking to your plans and standing your grounds. That might be against the wishes of somebody else, because you have the Five of Wands here and that's upright. And you have the rabbit and the owl. And those animals and maybe archetypes, if you're looking at it like that, um, they're not exactly super friendly in their world. So, and it reminds me of like the owl in the library. And that's from a cartoon, and I'm sure there's other moments where owls happen in libraries too, because they are associated with wisdom. With this, it's also good judgment too. With the owl, it would also be a little careful too, because some energy is like not caring or not being careful about if they drop you. Like with the owl and dropping its prey. This also feels like having enough to survive too. This could also be a stronger stance because you have Arctic animals here that are present in this card. So it's the polar bear, the salmon, and fox. So it feels like with whatever happens, that you'll be strong enough to withstand what may feel a little painful, but it doesn't feel like it's permanent. It feels like a moment in time where life kind of has things where it's not going to be the most comfortable of situations, and it's being able to maneuver during those times. So being attentive and being able to be strategic. And it reminds me of doing the fox readings too, because I do have the fox as one of my main totems. And it's also having that protection. You're observing, you're asking why you're doing these things, why you want these things. It's not just observing your environment, it's observing yourself, observing those thoughts, your feelings, your actions, your physical feelings and reactions. But it's also an important part of an important part of fox medicine is being able to be a master of your own tricks. And it doesn't have to be a harmful thing. It can help you get out of harm's way. So if you're having tough times getting through these things, it may be good to look at the animal medicine or whatever spirituality that comforts you, religion that comforts you. I say animals because they just teach us so many things. Their world is our world, and yet I feel like it's more simplified and things are straightforward in ways that humans don't comprehend. It is primal energy and it goes back to source. And that's a strength that can be unyielding, the true nature of yourself and somebody else. And to ask what animals speak to you. Now the Five of Pentacles, Five of Earth that comes out twice. What's nice about this deck is that it has a soft way of giving the message, but it's also direct. So it's giving something that can be a potent response and not necessarily sugarcoating it, even when it's another way of putting it into words. It's almost the part of life where we think about success and we think about how to get there. And there is a belief, and maybe not many can see it, but you can be kind and successful. And it may be the way that you move and the way that your nature is. So I think it's a good thing than not to know the type of nature that you have. I feel like um, I think it's better. And when you're unapologetically yourself, it brings in the things that you need, the people that you need, the moments, the lessons, and it starts to build from the center. It builds from the origin. And I think building the core is extremely important for yourself to know yourself as well as maybe others know you, to have times where you get to understand the way that you function instead of somebody else bringing it up to you, bringing it to your attention. Because, again, with Fox energy, you get to know yourself. So, interesting two cards that came out. You have the Strength card, Major Arcana, with the Ten of Fire. So, the Ten of Fire is a card where you're going to feel maybe the heaviness of energy, maybe the tension, maybe parts of life where you're feeling the heat. I feel like it also has to do with being able to carry your own torch. And it's the tens, so it's 1 through 10. It repeats, it's a cycle. May not be the exact same cycle, but that's the minor arcana. And it's interesting, 10 and 11. So I'll read it. Archangel Ariel. Great inner strength, release harsh judgments, forgiveness, and compassion. And then the 10 of Fire, 10 of Wands. Too much work, accept help from others. Life is out of balance. Stress-related health concerns. This does feel like endurance too. And sometimes it's good to bring like the fire to the mix. It's good to like change change things up and to try different things. Maybe with me being a drug maker in pharmacy, that you try to optimize the ways that you're getting results. You try to get the best results. Um, and there's also that consistency too, especially with compounding medication. A lot of times with patients, if the medication works for them, um, then they will take it continuously for long periods of time. You want to make sure that it's as correct and as potent as the last compound that you made for them, because you don't want it to be less than, you don't want it to be more than. You're trying to get the same strength. You are getting the same strength, unless otherwise, said otherwise. And it's like with medication that's manufactured, there is that sense of consistency. And I say sense because sometimes there might be a couple of decimal placements that differ, but overall, you're seeing which placements need to be consistent for the person making the medication to make the compound. And it may not be in a, like, other people may feel as if you could be changing your ways, or maybe even saying that Was this you the whole time? And maybe in some cases, yes, because at that point you've got to know yourself to a point where you're understanding that there is the source that is you. And although there are things that constantly change, constantly grow, your ideas, the way that you do things, the regimen could change in an instant when somehow you might be in the car driving and you're like thinking all of a sudden, or maybe not all of a sudden because it's been subconsciously tackling you, that the way that you think or do certain things is not who you are anymore. And it's good to have like a phoenix energy. So it's interesting with these future cards. I put other clarifiers on it, but it seems like the journey isn't quite over. And you're getting a 10, but that 10 could be a long road or it could be the start of a new cycle. For the future, you have a 3 of Wands. This feels like energy of coming to terms with something. That something that once was is different than what you thought it was. And in some cases, maybe the person was having, or maybe you, it could be vice versa, having a specific way of life. And it could have been out of the care for another person. It could have been like maybe a family member or maybe like a parent that wanted you to fulfill this type of destiny that they may have said that you had. But then when it came down to it, no matter how much you tackled that thing that they wanted, there was just so much um, resistance for your energy. And then you think, or you might start to think, why is there so much resistance when I'm told that this is what it needs to be? Or maybe you tell yourself that's what it needs to be. But the nice thing is with, if you want to call it manifestation, and I don't use that word very often, but just to say that, and that's a nice card, to go with the 3 of Swords, the Star card. I've said it in other videos, but to not confine the way that something comes to you, the best possible outcome, the best thing for you, for your best interest, it doesn't need to come in a specific way, specific form, because the universe, sorry, the universe may want to give you it in another form. And if you keep trying to say, no, it needs to be in this form, it might elongate the process. Time may pass, and then maybe it turns into just a moment in time where you have to go through different plans. And it is going through different plans, as I mentioned, because the universe may say it'll be better for you to go this direction, go through this maze instead of the maze that you were trying to go in. Because the maze that you were trying to go in, or the way that you were trying to go through the maze, isn't going to lead you to that outcome or that center that you're trying to get to. You keep going through and getting this dead end, and you keep swearing that this is like the way to do it, and then the universe is like, mm, girl, if you keep going that way, I don't know how long it's going to take you to realize that might not be the way that you want to go. So then they try to put like different things like as obstacles to maybe give you the hints that maybe you wanted to take this direction. You might like it more at the end because there might be other things that you have to face. And going straight isn't always the quickest or easiest way to get to the outcome. Sometimes there are other avenues that are open for you at that time. This could also be for opportunities, could be like, job opportunities or entries to something, and you have an idea of what you want the end goal to be, but it's not exactly to that point yet. So the other cards for the Three of Swords, so the Star card is a major arcana, and it's really telling for the Three of Swords. Because it's one of those things where you kind of look back and you're thinking, I was so deeply invested in the way that things would be, and then it turns out that sometimes you just gotta go with the flow of life, and it can be easier said than done, especially with the things that are going on in the world. So, and even this card too, you have the Two of Wands. With the Knight of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords. Off the bat, I feel like these are kind of like a dynamic in some way. This could be people on different journeys or the journey that is leading them to each other. They could be different places in their journey. Um, or it could be an age difference because you have the knight and then you have the queen. And that can also be a mentality of the archetypes. So maybe the person can feel like a knight, and then the other person is more sound with their thoughts about things. Um, I feel like it's an energy that's not taking things to heart. Because with the Queen of Swords, I would say out of all the queens, has been through more, I was, well, more tumultuous times, like based off of the generalities of the Queen of Swords. And it could also be with the Knight of Pentacles too, that this person might be trying to prove a point. Whether it's a good thing with that owl energy, or it's trying to be like, trying to be like another bird, like a peacock, and saying that this is why we should be together type of energy. I'm gonna go back to the other cards, but before I say that, the Two of Wands. Two of Wands, there's potential there. So I think that's really promising because you also have the star there too. So, and then you have stars on the Two of Wands. So with this dynamic duo, whatever that Three of Swords is, it really is overshadowed, or there's something that, well, a star that really brightens the situation. And it's the Queen of Swords with the Knight of Pentacles. I feel like there's a lot of potential for that energy, or those energies. So, again, you have the Five of Pentacles, Five of Earth, twice in this reading. So this is fears surrounding money, the wisdom to accept help from others, uncertain self-employment. With this one, and with the Ten of Fire, the Ten of Wands also mentioning it might not be bad to do things on your own. Because you have the Nine of Pentacles too, the Nine of Pentacles linking to the Queen of Cups. I also feel like it could link to the Queen of Swords, and those energies could be categorized together. Because the Queen of Swords is one of those independent energies that you get from the archetypes in the deck. The, well, Queen of Swords being a court card, Queen of Cups being a court card. And then Ace of Air, Ace of Swords. Brilliant new ideas and inspirations. Seeing the truth in a situation. A challenging beginning. I keep getting like, be open to the types of results. Like, the results may vary. And based off of the star and the Two of Wands, I think you're going to have to, well, it's whatever you want to do, but it may be ideal to see the advantage and a disadvantage, as I've said in other readings. So you have the Two of Cups here, which is the present card. With the Ace of Swords and the obstacle. That's interesting. Because it feels, if the Ace of Swords is in the obstacle position, that could be like the skittish energy, you know, like with the cat that I was getting. I feel like there's the Two Cups of like that bonding type of unity energy that you get from the Two of Cups. It also feels like dipping your toes in the water, where it being open to ideas might be a different type of situation or relationship that you haven't done before. And I really feel like it feels like dreamer energy too. And yet with Ace of Swords, it hasn't completely come into fruition in that way. But it could be overcoming that Ace of Swords because you have the Six of Swords to overcome the obstacle with the Page of Pentacles. This can be building, like reassuring yourself or making sure that whatever happens, it's better out than in. Like if you're trying to confess feelings for somebody, or I'm trying to see the hidden agenda. What I was saying in the beginning. Because with the Six of Swords here, it looks like getting past the the parts of the ocean like the tides or past the part of the ocean where there's a lot of push and pull and then getting to like a calmer area. That's what it looks like with that Six of Swords. And we are thinking about that in ways of how can I look at this at another angle? If the angle that I've been looking at isn't really what the reality may be. So, with the Three of Swords, with the truth setting in, the truth might not be as bad as you think. And with the Page of Pentacles, it can be finding those answers and putting the effort in. This feels like a start to finish type of energy where you're looking towards finishing a goal. And then there's the Eight of Wands as the overall energy and the Empress card, uh, Major Arcana. This was in a dream that I had. And I said it before. It was interesting because it was actually towards the bottom of this. And I was saying it was like crowded than New York City. And I remember it because of the gown. And then I saw one of the arms. And you know the song, like New York, New York, if I can make it me naughty. um, it's if I can if I can make it here, I can make it anywhere, something like that. And this kind of feels like going full force because the Eight of Wands, it does have that if you have a target and there's a bunch of arrows trying to hit that target, it's almost like that energy. It's those arrows. And it's really it's almost forcing the growth, to be honest. So I feel like it can be energy where you could hurt yourself if or not because it's saying strength with the 10 of wands if you're up to that challenge because to force growth with the empress card that's heavy Taurus energy. It's a lot of earth. It's also Libra too. So I'll maybe do one more. Again, it's 10 of wands that comes up again with the 5 of fire, the 10 of wands. The instruments in this deck aren't instruments that you would see often in America. So this one you have the ocarina. And the saying that comes from the other reading, the birds, the bees, the flowers, and the trees, that comes up too. So with the Knight of Pentacles, something is really trying to go full force with the Queen of Swords. With the, I feel like the Queen of Cups is the Queen of Swords and is the Knight of Pentacles. And the Empress too. With it being all the queens, but two of the queens are in this reading. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you still. I'll post my daily draws. Bye.